Former President Yoon defied the law today, and the special prosecutor's team was unable to summon him for questioning. Instead, the special prosecutor's team has applied for an arrest warrant for Kim. If accepted, this would be the first time in constitutional history that a former presidential couple is arrested. Let's talk about the investigation into the couple with legal affairs reporter Hyun Ji-ho. The re-execution of the arrest warrant against former President Yoon also failed, but this time, Yoon's team provided detailed explanations of the situation. It seems there's some intention behind it all.
Yes, that's right. Clearly, both sides are making strong efforts to sway public opinion. Right after the first failed attempt to execute the arrest warrant, Min Jong-ki's special prosecutor team gave a very detailed and thorough briefing on the situation. Former President Yoon's camp previously criticized the attempts as humiliating, but during this re-execution, they detailed the detention center situation. They reported that Yoon nearly got injured during the forced attempt and even had to visit the medical office. Both sides are selectively sharing information favorable to themselves to sway public opinion and justify their positions.
Tensions remain high between both sides, and former President Yoon's legal team made this statement during a briefing. There's no issue with the arrest warrant issuance, but the problem is with the execution process. What's the reason?
Former President Yoon's team strongly criticized the execution of the arrest warrant, but largely refrained from openly mentioning the fact that the court had officially issued the warrant itself. Let's take a listen.
Currently, we are unable to provide any comments regarding the court's judgment. However, the execution process was clearly illegal, and we made it clear that we refused to comply.
This statement appears to be made with a future trial in mind. While they may criticize the special prosecutor's investigation, openly attacking the judiciary's decision could lead to unfavorable interpretations by the court. Given the past riot incident at the Seoul Western District Court, they could also face criticism for undermining the judiciary, something they may be trying to avoid.
It seems they are avoiding provoking the judiciary. The deadline for Yoon's arrest warrant expires today. What's next? Will they try again?
That's entirely possible. There's a strong chance the special prosecutor's team will reapply for an arrest warrant for former President Yoon. While they stayed quiet during today's briefing, they have previously mentioned the possibility. The team has also repeatedly expressed its intent to bring in Yoon Suk-yeol for questioning through forced summons if necessary.
A detention warrant for First Lady Kim Ki-hee was abruptly requested today, just one day after the investigation began. If approved, both a former president and his spouse could be detained at the same time. What's your take on this?
It would be the first time in constitutional history that a former presidential couple undergoes simultaneous detention and investigation. Legal experts widely believe Kim Ki-hee is also likely to have her arrest warrant issued. One legal expert said the special prosecutor's team likely filed the detention warrant immediately, believing the evidence was sufficient, and added that the case's seriousness makes issuance more likely. It's also worth noting that most of the search and arrest warrants requested by the last 3 special prosecutor teams have been approved by the court.
However, isn't it generally quite uncommon to detain a couple at the same time?
This differs somewhat from standard investigative practices. When couples or parents and children are investigated simultaneously, it's customary for one to be detained while the other undergoes investigation without detention. Former President Yoon, while serving as Prosecutor General, once actively tried to break with tradition by simultaneously indicting former Justice Minister Cho Kuk and his spouse. It's telling that Yoon ironically finds himself in an almost identical situation.
It seems Yoon and his spouse could become targets of the precedent he set. That was legal affairs reporter Hyun Ji-ho. Thank you.